Brian. I think we are live.
Does it say it?
Yes, it says
That-
live on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a parking Oh, so we are tabling 265 East Shore Road for now till these come to some conclusion with that. The next item is a parking regulation effectiveness date. As you know, because of the pandemic, all the parking regulations that had to do with the time parking on the village municipal lots, as well as the timed parking along the streets, have been suspended. People were home, they could not move their cars on time. The mayor and the board allowed that to, they laxed the restrictions. With the businesses going back to sort of normal, and we entered already phase two, and more places opening. It's the request to put a set of date for putting back the time restrictions, effectiveness dates. If there's any specific date, otherwise I would suggest July 1st. July 1st is also the beginning of the third quarter. So we'll have people who have permit parking to come in, and we issue them their parking permits. So we can start, the take it back to the old time parking to be effective July 1st. It's up to the mayor and the board whether they wanted to move it further closer or further later than the time that it is now.
I think given the fact that the phases are moving forward, and we are right now in phase two, hopefully phase three, and four will be, I think, soon in July. I think many people will get back to work, and the reason we gave the parking relief was because people were not going to work. Now that they're going back to work, I think July 1st would be a good time to have things back to normal.
Fine with me.
Do we need a resolution, or just a decision is enough?
I just want to say one thing, and I'm all for enforcement. I'm just a little concerned if people are actually going to be going back to work to the point where, for instance, the residents who are on Middle Neck Road that addressed the situation with us are going to be taking their cars to work at the same rate that they were before, if all the offices are open, or if the people will be taking the railroad like they did before. So I'm just a little concerned. I don't know. Does anybody else have an idea of what's going on? Are people taking the railroad into the city lately?
I haven't been to the city much. Beginning.
It's only like 10% of the of what Long Island Railroad usage is only about 10% of what it has been.
Yeah.
Seems to me that the cars up by the apartment buildings
Yeah.
have not changed. Seems like they're still home. Most of the cars are still stuck there during the day. I don't know that you'd want to. I don't know that you'd want to restore the restrictions back to apartment buildings, because there's still a lot of people that park there.
Yeah, I agree. That was the problem that we ran into. Well, not the problem, but that was the request that came in. Was that
we are talking about two different things. One is the overnight parking on Middle Neck Road, and one was the time parking during the day. Now, are we going to continue not enforcing the time parking for that reason, or are we just going to start enforcing the time parking? And if you guys believe that people are still home, maybe you have to take one segment and say that segment or that section, we're not going to enforce the time parking. I don't know if you should just say that we're not going to enforce the time parking indefinitely.
I don't know. I don't think they should. I don't think by the apartment buildings up on Middle Neck Road. I think there's too many people that are still not working.
Mayor, also, you can-
Maybe we could put it off until July 15th. In the meantime, and then reconsider it then. I mean, I know from my part that the courts are not opening, at least until after July. I don't know.
Can we somehow send some fillers out there and find out what people are doing? Obviously, you don't want to do something that is going to make people's lives even more difficult than it is currently. I do see that the traffic in LIE and Belt and BQ has increased significantly in the
Yes.
past couple of weeks. Significantly. I mean, it's almost back.
Traffic is back.
Right. So if the traffic is back, I'm assuming a lot of people are going and they're traveling to Brooklyn, they're traveling to Manhattan. So if people are still not, and again, significantly a number of people are not still going back to work, then we should continue. But maybe we should find out from our personnel that go around if there are people still not moving their cars, then maybe we should do that. But otherwise, I think we should start considering. I don't mind July 1st or July 15th, but at one point, I think we should start going back. Do you want to table it until next time? We can. I think next meeting is July 2nd, is it?
7th.
7?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay, so this item is tabled. The next item on the agenda is setting the dates for next year Board of Trustee meetings. Currently in front of you, you will see the proposed dates. As you could see, July 7th, July 21st, August 4th, August 18th, September 1st, September 15th, which is the village election. October 6th falls in the middle days of the Jewish holiday. So the options would be either keep it that day or move it a week before to September 29, or cancel it or move it 1 week after. That's one of the days that you might want to consider. October 20th, there is October 20th and November 3rd is a presidential election. November 17th, December 1st, December 15th is the 5th night of Hanukkah. Again, some people might go away. I don't know what will happen. January 5th, 19th, February 2nd, and 16th. February 16th is the President Week. The day before February 16th is closed. I believe it's a President Day. March 2nd, March 16th, and April 6th are the two possible dates for the budget hearing. That has to be held before April 20th, and the budget has to pass by May 1st. So, you know, both days are okay. We should not have the problem that we had this year.
Okay.
The Easter and Passover this year are March 28th through April 4th. So April 6th should be 2 days after Passover holiday. April 20th is probably, that would be the budget hearing and passing the budget. May 4th and May 18th. The May 18th is, again, is a Jewish holiday. Whether you want to consider canceling it or having a meeting.
Which Jewish holiday is it?
That's Shavuot.
We can't have one then anyway.
Right. So you might want to consider canceling it or moving it a week before or after. June 1st, June 15th is the mayoral election next year, and July 6th will be beginning of the following cycle. So there's basically 2 days that you might want to consider either canceling or moving. That would be October 6th, which falls in the middle of the Sukkot holiday, or May 18th, that is definitely cannot, you can't hold it that day because it's in the middle of the holiday. So.
Right. I'm okay with keeping October 6th. Again, it's up to the board as well. And May 18th, you probably need to cancel. My question is, is the village election on the September 15th in person, or is it going to be write-in?
We don't have any direct.
You mean,
Not
you
write-in,
mean
I
in
mean,
person or mail-in?
yes, mailing, I'm sorry.
There is no directive yet from the governor yet. The school board was, as you know, mailing only. But there is nothing.
Yeah, the
yet.
primaries are right. The primaries are mailing.
Right. I believe, Peter, am I correct by saying that there is no directive by the governor yet?
You are correct. In fact, there's no mechanism for even nominating candidates yet.
There is no petition, correct. There's no going around and collecting signatures on the petitions even.
Bart, you're going to be trustee for life. All right.
I used to wish for a long one.
All right. Anyway, so I think if the board is okay with keeping the 6th and canceling the 18th, we can move to the next item.
Peter?
Okay.
Please read the resolution.
Everyone else is okay with that option?
Yeah.
Okay. Very
Okay.
good. Is there a motion to adopt the schedule proposed by the clerk with the deletion of the May 18th?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Hold on 1 second, please. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm sorry. My sound dropped out for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Please tell me just in favor of this, in favor of this calendar right here, right?
There is a motion to adopt the calendar as presented with the deletion of the May 18 day.
Okay.
Motion has been moved and seconded. All those in
Okay.
favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The next item is a request by the applicant at 523, 531 Middle Neck Road. They are requesting under the section 237-7N1E. They're requesting a waiver from the board under a hardship condition that they have. Mr. Haramis?
Yes, so 523 to 531 Middle Neck Road is requesting a demo permit. Due to the COVID, their project kind of got stalled. And under 575-105I2 of the code, it states that a waiver or provision of the section must be granted by the Board of Trustees based upon the unnecessary hardship. So if Mr. Q could enlighten the board on what's going on with this project, he'd be asking the board to waive the obtaining a building permit, let him go ahead with the demo and waive the building permit until the building permit is ready, which should be shortly.
So what is he asking for? Not to
No. He's asking to move ahead with the demo permit. You're supposed to have a building permit in place in order to get a demo permit. You have to have your building permit in place. The building permit is not ready yet. They're finalizing the plans, which will be submitted shortly. So he wanted to move ahead with the demo before.
without a.
So the only way to
without
do that. Right, so the only way to do that is to get mayor and board approval.
Can we get a bond to ensure that if we allow the demo before the plans are approved?
But the
That's
plans
the,
have been submitted. I think we're just waiting because of the COVID. The plans were possibly delayed. I don't know, but the plans, they came to us and the plans got approved.
Yes, I have met with the applicant several times, also with his general contractor, and they are moving forward. They just wanted, like I said, they just want to move forward with the demo in order to speed up the process so that
Okay,
everything.
I'm sorry to do this at this hour, but I need advice of counsel.
Can I ask what's the knocking down building is this?
I'm
Say that
sorry.
again?
What's the building? What are we knocking down?
That's the the bank and the
Used to be an old
Pharmacy.
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 Oh,
It's a one-story building now.
If, could I speak for a second? This is Stephen Quo, Silver
Hi,
Lake
Steve.
Realty. Hi.
all right.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and remain healthy. Just to add on to that, the building plans or the filing set was submitted a while ago. So because of COVID, obviously, that kind of slowed everything down. So we've been making good progress with Stephen and his his help to try to make up for some lost time. All we're really requesting is that the demo could begin first while we're in the process of just finalizing the building plans that were filed already with the building department and to get final approval on that. So we would certainly schedule this so that if the board were to grant the demo permit, we would schedule it so that it would come probably, soon after or just right before we receive approval for the building permits. So it would at least streamline things a little bit better and allow us to make up for some lost time and kind of somewhat do this in parallel. Meaning getting the demo permit and then while Stephen and us are, reviewing the filing sets and making, final modifications to it. But just to add on to it, the DPW building applications were submitted back in March, right before the shutdown. So again, everything is, filed properly. We're just asking if the board can allow the demo permit to be granted first.
Mayor, may I just comment? Mayor,
Yeah.
this project was going on when Len was in office, and this company proves to be a pretty reliable guy. I don't see why you should hold him up with just let him go ahead and get it. He's been in contact with me about the Walk Bridge,
Okay,
that kind of stuff.
thanks, Luke.
So I just want, to say that he is every responsibility.
Yeah, I think the value of having two buildings is a lot higher than having an empty lot. So, to knock it down and keep it empty would not be the wisest thing for the developer. So, especially when he's gone through all this. But do you still would like to get the advice of counsel, or we can move forward?
No, I'll be okay. I'm okay.
All right, Peter.
Very good. This could be a motion under section 237-7 subdivision N as in Nancy, subsection 1E of the village, which provides that no building permit for demolition should be issued unless there be a series of things that have preceded that. Specifically, it has to be that a permit for the construction of a new principal structure on the lot has already been issued, a permit for alterations, et cetera. But at the end of the day, it provides that a waiver from the provisions of this section by the Board of Trustees may be made based upon unnecessary hardship. So if this board concludes that it would be an unnecessary hardship to require the applicant to go through all the usual steps, it may waive those steps, authorize the building inspector to issue a demolition permit. Hear me, Mr. Haramis?
I couldn't hear anything you said, Peter, with all the muffling in the
All right.
background.
Sorry, I was asking you agree that the board has the power to waive the otherwise applicable preconditions to a demolition permit under section 237-7 of the code,
Yes, I agree.
upon finding unnecessary hardship.
Where is that sound coming from?
I'm not sure who it's coming from. All I see is that Peter's talking.
Okay.
Is everybody okay?
Maybe.
There is silence in my room. There is silence in my room other than my voice, so I don't think it's coming from here. But I
No,
was pointing section 237- of the code, which authorizes the Board of Trustees to waive the otherwise applicable requirements for a demolition permit on a finding of unnecessary hardship.
All right, so Steve agrees. Does the board would like to take a
Could I be
vote on
heard
this?
at that time?
Yes, you heard.
Were you
Yes.
able to hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
I've lost everybody.
I'm-
Hello?
Oh. Hello?
Is there
Am I
is there a
still on?
motion to that effect? Yeah, we hear you, Peter.
So moved. Second.
Hello?
Second.
Bart
right.
made a motion,
Don't know what to
Steve
say.
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, I don't know if we lost Peter, maybe we have to get Peter back, but we can go ahead and say that motion was unanimously passed. And the way the demolition is going to go forward.
Thank you very much, Mayor and the Board of Trustees. I really appreciate the waiver. Thank you.
All right, have a great one.
You too. Have a good night, everyone. Be safe.
Thanks. Peter? Is Peter back?
Not yet.
Okay, what's the next item?
The next item is the request for the permit extension for 187-195 Steamboat Road. I'm sorry, Brian, do you have the ability to mute?
Bart, I think that's coming from you, Bart.
No, I don't think. I think it's from the person who's calling in.
No, it's I get a little yellow screen around whoever's talking, wherever the noise is coming from.
You think it's me?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to mute you for 1 second and see if that helps. Okay, Bart?
Okay.
I apologize ahead
I'll
of
mute
time.
myself.
I think it makes it better. Yeah.
That helps.
There we go. Thank you, Bart.
Okay, so next item on the, so can we get Peter back? And then,
Peter is, I thought I just saw him back.
Oh, yeah, yes, he's back. He's just muted. Peter, you are muted.
How about now?
Yes.
No.
okay,
yeah.
so Peter, we passed the resolution to give the waiver to,
Okay, very good. I don't know what
Okay.
happened on my end, but my iPad just suddenly kicked me out of the meeting. So,
yeah, I think my battery is gonna die soon, so,
all right,
let's just, even though I have it on charger, but I think it's,
talk fast then. I believe the next item is a request for a permit extension for 187-195 Steamboat Road. The board has previously granted the approvals necessary for this project, but those approvals will have expired. And the applicant is coming in and saying because of COVID and other reasons, it is requesting that the application approvals be extended. And we have suggested a 6-month period. Abraham, what date did you put in there? December
December 16, 2020.
2020?
Can I reiterate my request for 12 months?
The applicant is asking for 12 months. We had proposed 6, but it's up to the board as to what you want to do.
This is a very large project and no plans have been submitted for review to the department as yet. And frankly, between the devastation that the Mashadi community has gone through this COVID-19, things have really slowed down. So we would request that, with your permission, the 12 months. This way, we don't have to come back and ask for it again.
And this, by the way, would be for special use permit, site plan approval, and permission for an accessory use of a swimming pool, a parking waiver, and architectural review approval, any of those that will have expired.
That's correct. And we've already written a letter as well to the zoning board as it relates to the extension of the variance associated with this. I believe that's a July 2 calendar date. And so we'd be asking them for the same thing.
It's up to the board as to whether to grant an extension at all, or if so, whether to do it for any particular period of time. And the board is also authorized, if it chose to do so, to impose any additional conditions or charge additional fees. The board in the past has granted such extensions.
So they have not applied for any, they have not given any application to the planning, to the building department as yet, right?
That's correct. There's nothing I believe that's in the building department for their review with respect to the project. Everything has come to a halt. The relationship with the architect and the ability to get anything drawn, et cetera. And frankly, the closing on the property had been delayed as well as a result of the COVID-19. And so property hasn't even transferred title because of all the delays. So I think just to be practical about it so that the closing can occur, hopefully, and that the plans could be completed by the architects and engineers and get it to the board. In 6 months, we're just going to be back and asking again.
Right. I'm okay with 1 year extension, knowing that it has not gone to the building department as of yet.
Fine with me.
Thank you.
Well, we haven't voted yet.
No, I realize that, but I thank you for the sentiment I've heard so far.
Is there a motion pursuant to Village Code 575-196 and 575-222 that the time for the applicant to meet the conditions required to avoid the lapse of approvals is hereby extended to July 16th of 21? Is there a motion? Moved by the mayor, seconded?
Second.
That was deputy mayor, but okay.
Very
Yeah,
good.
that, I didn't move. It was moved by Bart.
Very good. And all those in favor?
Now I say a formal thank you.
Any
All right.
opposed? All right.
No.
Unanimous.
You're welcome, Paul. Okay.
There is a similar request on the part of Millbrook to extend its time. It had made an application, you will recall, for approval to demolish certain residential units, for the construction of new residential units, for architectural and site plan approval, a parking waiver, a height increase, a fourth story. All of those approvals were given back, I believe, in August of 2018. There were time limitations that are built into the code that those approvals will expire if not extended. Those approvals, I think, will be extending shortly. And I think it was last done in July of 2019. The time limitations were reaffirmed. The applicant has now requested that those time limitations be extended again. And he is, I believe the applicant's counsel is present. And this will apply for the time within which to obtain all required building permits, the time for site plan approval to continue, and the time for the applicant to have applied for and obtained all required prerequisites for the permit issuance. And is there a date that the board wishes to put in? We, again, staff had suggested a figure of 6 months. The applicant, I think, is asking for a period of 1 year.
I would think so, and I believe that the mayor and Mr. Haramis are familiar with a lot of the reason why we were not able to accomplish what we wanted to have accomplished, and there's still issues that have to be resolved, I think, under the circumstances, as well as the circumstance that the 239 F application has been before the county now for 3 years, and they still have not made their final determination. We hope and expect it's coming close. And so I think 6 months again is unrealistic. I believe that hopefully we will resolve all issues, not problems, but issues that are outstanding, and that the village will be able to have the plans reviewed, and we will be able to pull a permit.
Okay. Anybody from the board?
Okay.
Is the board prepared to move the item to July 16th of 21?
Yes.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you yet again.
Any abstentions or objections? It was unanimous.
Thank you.
Peter, would you like to let the council for the applicant know that the zoning board, they have to attend the zoning board and ask them for wherever they applied with the zoning board, and the board of trustees cannot extend whatever zoning board they gave them?
That is correct. I believe the applicant has separately applied to the zoning board for an extension.
Okay.
And I believe, Abraham, that is going to be appearing on the July 2 hearing date of the zoning board.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor, the next item is a request for an authorizing resolution. This board has from time to time discussed the need for a new village hall. You have identified a parcel at 756 Middle Neck Road, and we have negotiated with the current owner for the purpose of acquiring that parcel. There are two resolutions that would be connected to this. The first would be a resolution declaring this an unlisted item for purposes of CEQA with a negative declaration. And I believe that an EAF1 has been provided to the board by Mr. Haramis, on the basis of which you could make your determination that the contract of purchase standing alone would qualify as an unlisted negative declaration. The actual determination to go forward and build the village hall and pursue the project would require an entirely different CEQA analysis, but by segmenting it and dealing only with the issue of acquiring the property, an unlisted determination could be made at this time with a negative declaration if that's the conclusion. Secondly, there would be a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the contract of purchase, the terms of which have been 98 to 99% resolved. There are still some remaining wording issues and wordsmithing to do. The board has received an appraisal that I think corresponds to the purchase price of $800,000. There are some restrictions on the use of the property. Specifically, as the resolution recites, there would be a requirement for the village to use the property for municipal office space for a period of 25 years, not to sell the property to the adjoining neighbor to the south or otherwise permit the lots to be joined for a period of 50 years, and to not use the property for any residential use for a period of 50 years. This being proposals that the seller is making to assure itself of a lack of competition for residential apartment living. But with that said, the draft resolution provides that the mayor be authorized to sign an agreement in substantially the form of that which is before you and on file with the clerk, subject to council's approval of the final wording of the clauses that remain to be wordsmithed. Mayor, would you care to comment on that?
No, I think you summarized it correctly as we discussed. This is a parcel that we have looked at and to acquiring in different ways. I think this would give the board the latitude to go forward with what we have been planning for a while, to move the village hall to Middle Neck Road. Will also alleviate development in that area by allowing a village hall, not another building, to move there. So I'm asking the board to consider this, and hopefully we can go through this process and be able to do two things. One, the village hall, Middle Neck Road, where I believe it needs to be, and also to be able to sell our current village hall to the school for them to be able to expand as they have indicated it's needed at this time.
Is there a vote to authorize the mayor to execute the agreement in substantially similar form to that before?
Motion.
Move it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Wait, just 1 second. I mean, in terms of, this is just obtaining the parcel of land, but it's no discussion about how the village hall is going to be built.
At this time, trustee, is just obtaining the parcel of land. However, the parcel of land that we're obtaining could only be used for all practical purposes as a village hall or municipal office use. So unless you're going to go forward with the project to build a village hall, it wouldn't make sense to obtain the parcel. However, you have a 60-day due diligence period during which you could decide not to use this parcel for a village hall for whatever reason. And if that determination were made within the 60 days, you have the option to terminate the contract and return your down payment.
Okay.
Okay.
The motion was moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. Thank you, Mayor. I think the next item is the minutes of the June 2nd meeting. Abraham?
Yes, the minutes are on the screen.
Can't see that.
You have to click on them.
Oh, okay. Move on.
Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, unanimous. And I believe the abstracts are the last item.
So let me see, there were 2 abstracts. I had a question. For the LED light controls, I noticed that the bill was for AT&T, and I guess I didn't understand that. Is there a reason why that was so? Like, why is the bill for LED light control going to AT&T?
Right, because we are using the system to transfer the data to us. So there are 3 controls throughout the village, and we are using AT&T data platform to transfer the data from each LED light to the platform that we use to control the lights. So we pay them for 3 lines, and this $12 is a monthly fee that we pay them in order to have the ability to use their basically data plan to transfer the data from the lights to the platform to control them.
Okay. The other thing is, I noticed there was a note on the Cintas forms. It looked like a note. I don't know if you wrote it, something like we've been paying for the first aid $1,200 a year.
Yeah, that's something that we have to look into. I'm not sure exactly if that's so beneficial for the village, but
No. I've said this for all along, and I agree with you. I think it is, given what they do and what we're getting for our money, I think we could do it by ourselves and accomplish, get a
Well,
lot.
I'm not saying that they are not providing a service to the village. I just think
No,
that,
they're providing a service. It's very expensive.
correct. I don't know if there's anybody else out there who can take their place, but if there's anybody else, they should look into it.
Okay.
Abraham, just a quick question, you're talking about Cintas, the medical stuff?
Yeah, the first aid.
All right, well, I just want you to be aware that everything that's in that cabinet is DOT approved medicine. It's non-drowsy type medicine. So,
As I mentioned, I don't doubt that they are providing a very good service. I don't think if it's worth the money, how much we are paying them for what they provide. That's all I'm saying.
Right, if we could find it cheaper, that's all. And the last thing, I'm just curious, I saw there were tomato plants and bell peppers planted. Where were those planted?
those are all in front of the DPW building.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The peppers and everything?
Yep.
And tomatoes?
Been doing it for about 30 years now.
So what do you do with it, with the produce?
Guys take it. Sometimes people come up and grab it.
Okay. All right,
Farmers market.
what was that?
They do a farmer's market at the DPW.
We've been doing it in front of the building for probably about 30.
I'll give you a permit, okay.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the abstract.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh,
All right.
in favor, please?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Any objections or abstention?
No.
Passed. Public comments?
If anybody would like to make any comments, you could unmute yourself, please, and just state your name and address for the record.
No comments?
Move to adjourn.
All right. Move to adjourn?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Motion.
guys. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Thank
night.
you.
Good night, all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Abraham, get home